Be like one of those girls on the internet. What are you doing?
Roll the intro. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Bitcade. This is episode 32. I remembered, but I have doubt. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the Game Awards. That's right. I looked over there and we switched our topics.
Yeah.
The Game Awards we are talking about first because it is happening on 12/12/19. So if you're watching Bit 1, you are on track. If you are watching the full episode, you missed the Game Awards. You'll have to wait till next month for us to talk about that again. Our second topic, we are talking about Riot being sued for $10 million. It's a lot of money. And we are going to be talking about who has the best controller. We have 10 controllers, and we are going to talk about who has the best one. Joining me is
Ashton.
and this is Bitcade. My name is Ryan. Let's get into it. Man, the Game Awards already upon us. This one kind of snuck up on me. I didn't really.
Yeah, this year's gone by real quick.
Yeah, we're already in December. We already have to vote. There's a lot of stuff that
Where
is
do
on
we
the
vote at?
thegameawards.com. So if you're watching this the week it comes out, you're watching this bit, 32.1, you can go vote still because this is being posted on a Saturday. But on 12/12, it's done. It's already happened. You'll have to look at the results at that point. But you just sign in through your Twitter or your Facebook. I don't know why I'm plugging them so hard, but that's what it is. That's how you do it.
It's an important thing.
It is an important thing. So the first one here is VR AR game. All right?
Okay.
Best VR. This is for the best game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Asgard Wrath.
Wow. Okay.
Blood and Truth. Beat Saber. No Man's Sky.
They have that
And
in VR?
Trevor. Yeah, that was the whole big update that happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Trevor Saves the Universe. Trover Saves the Universe. That's the
It's kind of like Captain Crunch eyeballs.
yeah, it's made by the guys who made Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So,
I love Beat Saber. Beat Saber's awesome.
yes.
No Man's Sky is cool, but
I
I feel
think
like you could get lost in like time just for like hours playing that game and
Yeah.
not know it.
I mean, so the thing is that we did get to play No Man's Sky this year. We played it
we
at
played
PAX.
Yeah.
That was our lounge game that was our BYOC game. So is it enough to say now we didn't play any of these games in VR other than Beat Saber. We've never played any of these games as far as I'm aware of you.
Yeah, just Beat Saber for me.
Yeah. So I think our two top games are Beat Saber and No Man's Sky just by the fact that we played those games. I think if we played a Trover, I think it's Trover, Trover.
Yeah.
Trover Saves the Universe. I think if we would have played that game, it probably would be on our number one. But I think for
Beat Saber's pretty
Yeah.
solid. Very difficult once you get done hard mode and up. Like it gets crazy.
but it is cool. You get to wield the lightsaber.
Oh
around.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think we're leaning towards Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beat Saber it is.
Voting now. You earned a token. Great.
Token of gratitude.
Yay. All right. Strategy game.
Oh yes.
Age of Wonders, Planetfall, Anno 1800, Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Total War, Three Kingdoms, Tropico 6, Wargroove.
I don't know any of those games.
Okay.
Cool.
I think Wargroove
Wait.
made by Chucklefish.
Which one looks like it has hot anime characters in it? Let's choose that.
Probably Fire Emblem has a lot of Rule 34.
Awesome.
Are we
That's my
voting based
vote.
on that?
Yep.
All right. I'll give it to that.
Anime titties for the win.
I would have probably gave it to what is it, Wargroove? Yeah, that was in the category. Probably would have given it to that, but with Ashton's logic, I think we're just going to go with that. Best
Makes sense.
sports/racing game for the best traditional and
Ooh.
non-traditional sports and racing game. Now, Forza not coming out this year definitely helps everyone out because usually it just wins every year. So we got Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, Dirt Rally 2.0,
Oh.
eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020. Good grief.
PES. All right.
Yeah, but now they added eFootball. F1 2019 and FIFA 20.
God. I'm going to go with Dirt.
I was gonna go between Dirt or Crash Team,
Yeah,
so we're gonna
either
go
one.
with
Either one.
either one. Which one? We
Is
got to do.
Crash Team, the Crash Bandicoot one?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Crash wins. On to the next one. Score and music for outstanding music,
Ooh.
inclusive of score, original song and / or licensed soundtrack. Cadence of Hyrule, which is the
Link's Awakening stuff?
it's the Crypt of the Necrodancer, and it's the DLC that it's the separate game / DLC that has all the Hyrule characters, so you can play as Link and Zelda. Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah.
That's the word. I read for a living. I don't. Which one are we going for? I would think that Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah, the Zelda games usually have a very impressive soundtrack.
And it's from the guys that do Crypt of the Necrodancer, and that game is literally all about beats and music.
Cool.
All right. There we go.
I'm always down to support Link.
There we go. Best role-playing game for the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Disco Elysium. Never heard of that. Final Fantasy 14. That did come out with a big DLC this year. Kingdom Hearts 3. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and The Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I'd probably give that to Outer Worlds.
Dialogue cannot be beaten. 100%.
Oh, God. Best Performance. Awarded to an individual for voice-over acting, motion, and / or performance capture.
I wish I actually followed
Ashley Birch for Pavarti Holcomb from The Outer Worlds. That's the girl that you literally meet in the beginning of the game. Courtney Hope as Jesse Faden in Control, Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz, Gears 5, Mattis Mikkelsen as Clef in Death Stranding, Matthew Pareda as Dr. Casper Darling in Control, and Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding.
Norman Reedus.
God.
That's my boy.
Oops.
What'd you do?
I went back.
You broke it.
No, we're good.
Oh my God.
We're fine. We're fine.
Damn it, Ryan.
There's so many sliding stupid crap that they have. I'm actually going to disagree with you.
What?
I don't want Norman Reedus to win this one.
Why?
Because I think that Ashley Birch did a great job as Pavarti in
Pavarti's
the
so
outer...
annoying.
No, she isn't if you actually talk to her.
She always interrupts all of my dialogue.
Here's the thing. I'm the one that is signed in, so Ashley Birch gets a vote.
God damn it.
Okay, just to be fair, Norman Reedus gets in there even more. He has like 7 categories he's in. So calm down.
Because he's so goddamn good.
No, you know what? He's an actor. I give him that. But I don't know. I haven't seen his performance as I've seen him in the other stuff.
Goodness.
Ongoing game awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Apex Legends.
It does do that.
Destiny 2.
Fuck that game.
Final Fantasy 14.
Don't know.
Fortnite.
No.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I think the 2 toss-ups here is Fortnite and Apex Legends.
And
I got it. As much as it's going to hurt to say, Fortnite probably wins this category.
Yes. I mean, well, here's the thing.
They did come out with the big update.
They constantly do change the game up, and even though they haven't made a new map like Apex has, they still way more consistently change their game. So I unfortunately have to say
I'm only going based on the description of the award is awarded to the game for outstanding development on ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time.
It's
which I think Fortnite wins this one.
It's going to Fortnite.
Oh
it's a good game. I just don't like it.
Yep. All right, here we go. Narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. A Plague Tale: Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, The Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
Okay. I think Nate might argue with the Control thing, but
really,
because he actually played it. Nate, can you hear me? No, he can't hear me. Okay, fine, whatever.
Noise canceling.
Based on that, I'm going with The Outer Worlds because that's the only game I played. I was going to get his perspective on whether or not Control actually had good and could be in contention of this, but I'm going to give it to Outer Worlds as well.
Yeah.
We
got some
multiplayer games for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massive multiplayer experiences. What is it?
Irrespective of the game genre or platform.
I don't know what that means. Irrespective?
Interesting.
Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, and Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
Oh God, Apex.
Apex gets the word?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take your word for it. Best mobile game.
Oh.
This is for best game playable on a dedicated mobile device.
Like on your iPhone or Android.
Yeah, Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sky Children of the Light, and What the Golf. I might vote Call of Duty on this.
Yeah,
just because
it's not bad.
Just because of what it is, and I think it's my middle school brain thinking that because I actually bought Nazi Zombies on my iPad, on my iPod Touch, and the fact that this is literally Call of Duty now on your phone and it works pretty well. Like Jameson and I played it when we were down at Disneyland.
I mean, it looks like shit, but I mean, it plays.
I
good.
mean, it's not terrible. It's better than it's like 360. It's like past gen graphics.
It's like maybe 480.
But I mean, on a mobile device, I don't really tell. I don't know. I think I would vote for Call of Duty on this one.
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Okay. Thanks for voting Call of Duty. Okay, great. Best independent game for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds, and Untitled Goose Game.
I've heard about Goose Game, but I also like that samurai-looking dude right
Katana
there.
Zero.
Yeah,
Katana Zero
like
is
the
a pretty
art.
good game. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be Untitled Goose Game or Katana Zero.
Ooh, what are these both about?
Untitled Goose Game is you're literally a goose and you kind of solve puzzles based around that. And then Katana Zero, I'm trying to think of. I always get it mixed up with the other one that looks almost exactly like it. I can't really explain it. I think based on that, Untitled Goose Game gets it because it's supposed to be best independent game, and I think that is the most independent looking game that there possibly is, and it's so unique. So I'm gonna give it to Untitled Goose Game.
Okay.
By the way, these are like predictions on who we think are gonna win, but also what we are choosing. Most of the time, we usually lose this and we do a terrible job. Just go watch last year's. It didn't go so well. I think I got 2.5 right, and you got 1.5 right.
We actually really suck at this.
Games for impact for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Concrete Genie, Gris, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, Sea of Solitude.
I'm going to go Life is Strange.
I'm going to go Life is Strange as well. I didn't play it, but I did see a lot of the trailers.
Yeah, it made me want to play it,
yeah.
and I totally forgot about it after I stopped
and
seeing
now
it
the development team is actually going to be working with Microsoft.
Oh, good.
So there you go. So there you go. Life is Strange 2. Game direction awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Control, made by Remedy, 505 Games, Death Stranding, Kojima Productions /SIE, Resident Evil 2, Capcom /Capcom, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, From Software /Activision, and Outer Wilds.
This is tough because
Game direction. That's the game direction we're voting on. I might have to give this to Death Stranding.
Well, it's basically a giant walking and movie simulator.
Yes.
So it's pretty much all direction, no gameplay.
Yeah. Is that where we're going? Death Stranding?
Well,
okay, what's your other one that you're thinking about?
Well, Control seemed really interesting too.
Made by Remedy.
And also Sekiro I played, and that one's pretty good. But it's also like, in terms of direction, you can only do so much direction with a Souls-esque, format.
Yep.
So maybe not that, but I'm gonna go with Death Stranding just because. A lot of the trailers were so captivating. All the scenes are so captivating.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's fair enough to give that as best direction, and it probably is going to win it, along with a lot of the 700 awards it's also nominated for. This one is the Fresh Indie Game presented by Subway.
What?
Presented by Subway.
They have a game?
No, it's just presented by Subway. Fresh Indie Game. Recognizing a new independent studio that released its first game in 2019. For Disco Elysium. Nomada Studio for Gris.
Nomada what?
Dead Toast Entertainment for My Friend Pedro. Mobius Digital for Outer Wilds. Mega Crit for Slay the Spire. And House for Untitled Goose Game.
What are we voting on?
The best indie company, the best indie game. Fresh indie game. So these are games that were created by a company that created their first game
under Subway.
Not under Subway. Created their first game this year. That's what we're voting on. That's who is getting votes right now. I almost might go House, but Mobius Digital made Outer Wilds. My Friend Pedro, I heard a lot about good things about.
I don't know.
Are we going to give it to... You're going to leave this up to me?
Yep.
Okay, this is tough. I'm going to give it to House just because Untitled Goose Game is super unique. Outer Wilds is a very close second, but I'm going to give it to House. Best fighting game. For the best fighting game designed primarily around head-to-head combat. Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown. I actually played that game because it's on Stadia. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Okay, I'll give that one to you.
Hands down.
I'll give that one to you. We did a whole series on it. Family game for the best family appropriate for best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform.
Oh, I didn't know that was a family game. Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion 3, yeah, because it's Luigi. Mario.
There's no way he's not fucking that vacuum.
Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2.
That is not a family game.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Yoshi's Crafted World. We're voting based on it being the best family game.
Yeah, that's not a family game. That's where brothers get grounded for fighting.
Major level 2 I might go Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Because it actually has co-op in it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Luigi's Mansion. Esports team. Oh God. I'm gonna let you read these ones.
Astralis, CS:GO team. We have League of Legends team, G2 Esports.
Okay.
Wow, they're a big team. They do a lot of stuff. OG for Dota 2. San Francisco Shock.
Oh, for Overwatch.
Overwatch World League, I'm assuming what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Team Liquid for CS:GO. I'm going to vote G2. Who do you want?
Yeah, G2. They did pretty good this season.
I like them for Rocket League. Vote. Do you want this back or you want me to read?
No, read the esports ones. I always butcher them every year.
Esports players, best esports performance and conduct. Sweet. Kyle Buga, Gearsdorf, Sentinel Fortnite. All right, cool.
Oh, is that the kid? That's the kid that won the Worlds of Fortnite this year.
Yes, it
is. Okay.
Lee Sang-hyuk, in quotations, Faker.
Yeah, he's League of Legends.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a really good League of Legends player.
Luca Perks.
Even though they didn't make it.
G2 Esports League of Legends.
Okay.
Alexander, quotations, Simple, Kostyliev, or whatever the fuck his name is. CSGO. Jay Sinatra won. San Francisco Shock for Overwatch.
I'm probably gonna give it to the Fortnite kid.
I would too, because he won the biggest tournament of the year.
Yes, and he won the biggest lump sum of money this year.
Yeah, so
and it's even though Faker is good, he didn't make it to they made it to Worlds. They did not win. They got knocked out. They didn't even make it to the finals. So I'm gonna give it to the Fortnite.
You know what?
guy.
He wasn't a little shit about it.
No, he actually still goes to school. Still he didn't get it. Yeah, he was smart with it.
He was humble.
But his mom was actually helped him out on that one. I don't know if you read an article about him, but apparently his mom is making him do schoolwork before he plays the game. So his parents actually parenting to him. Yeah,
good parents.
Yeah, no, I
Make
give it to
good
him.
kids.
I give it to him.
Yeah.
I respect him until he becomes too
Unless he
hot-headed.
becomes one of those TikTok douchebags.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Let's see. Esports hosts.
Okay.
Cool.
Golden Boy's probably in this one because he always is.
FJ Socks. SJOKZ. Sorry, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Do you see how terrible this
Can I get an
category
English
is?
translation?
Okay.
Deport. Okay, well that's just mean. All right.
Oh, I thought that was a joke on the last one.
No,
I was
that's
dang, wow, okay.
Deportere. Alex Machine Richardson.
Okay.
Wow, this guy looks like Mark Zuckerberg with better hair.
Paul Red Eye what?
Chaloner.
Okay.
Alex
There
Golden
he
Boy
is.
Mendez.
There's the boy.
There's
the
already.
Golden Boy.
I know him. Duan Candice Yu Shuang.
Wait, scroll over.
Scroll over what?
Oh, the other way. Keep going. I gotta see the faces here. No, give it to Golden Boy. Give it to Golden Boy.
Cool.
He always gets my vote.
Esports
Remember that.
Game of the Year. CS:GO, obviously. Dota 2, yeah. Fortnite, League of Legends, Overwatch.
I felt like Overwatch dropped this year, even though they didn't do as much marketing as they were doing. League of Legends did really cool worlds.
Yeah, I'd say it's between League of Legends and Fortnite, just because League of Legends is still had its popularity and it's still so relevant.
I'm gonna not play my favorite. I'm going to vote based on what I think is also gonna win. I think Fortnite's gonna win because there was a lot of hype this year. A lot of celebrities came out to do
for their
it.
community.
I think a lot of like Marshmello came out to and actually played in the Worlds thing too. Like there was a whole celebrity thing that happened. I'm gonna give it to Fortnite this year.
Same. Okay, I don't need your thanks for voting.
Yeah, it gives me achievements for whatever reason.
Okay. Esports event 2019 Overwatch League Grand Finals. Well, I don't know why I said.
Does it say where it was at, or it just says?
It just says that.
Okay.
Evo 2019.
I felt like that was not hyped this year.
Yeah, Fortnite World Cup is probably gonna get it. IEM Katowice 2019. League of Legends World Championship.
League Worlds was really cool this year. They keep upgrading it. Like they had a whole performance happen with these screens were in front and behind the performer, so they would have this the artist would be singing, but then there would be animations happening in front of them and backwards, and then they would black out to make the singer jump around, and then it would show them back again. It was really cool, really well done. I think Fortnite's gonna win this one just because, again, the hype was real this year. So, but I would definitely give it to League Worlds. If they keep it up, they're gonna win next year because it just keeps getting better and better.
Well, there's also the international, which I don't know about. So Fortnite or
what would you vote for?
I only peeked on the Fortnite one, so I can't.
Since we both watched sort of it and sort of saw coverage of it, we'll give it to Fortnite.
Okay.
But I again, Riot, they did a really good job. So
Esports coach.
Oh God,
Eric.
I hate the esports stuff. But go ahead.
Hogue.
Okay.
Nuri Kane Jang or Yang. I don't know how they pronounce it.
Okay.
Fabian Grabs or Fabian. I don't know how to say it. Loman.
I just like how you pronounced him as almost Fabio. So I think he's on the running.
Fabio.
He's on the running right now. I don't know who any of these people are.
Kim Koma Young Yoon.
Nope.
Okay. Didawan Sakshka
Nope.
Merlot. Danny Zonik Sorensen.
That's it?
Yeah.
Give it to Fabio.
Okay.
Fabio won it from us.
All right. Content Creator of the Year. Courage. I've heard of them.
Okay.
Don't watch their content.
I think
Dr. Lupo.
Dr. Lupo's on here.
Ewok. That's the deaf girl that just switched to Mixer.
Yep, Mixer just got her. Also,
Gref G.
oh, the next one.
What? Shroud.
Yep.
I think my vote's for Shroud.
What's the category based on?
Who has made an important and positive impact on the industry in 2019.
I got to give it to Ewok.
Really? Why do you say that?
Just because she made a big, important impact on it. She's a streamer that's deaf. There's not very many of those. She impacts that community a lot, which is very predominant and not very representative. As for Shroud, he wins a whole bunch of awards all the time, and he just did exactly what he did last year to this year. Not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's just keeping it up.
Good point.
As opposed to Ewok, new thing, new representative.
She's not very new.
No, but like new thing being brought to light, new representative of that community. My vote is Ewok.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Plus, she's now part of Team Blue.
Yeah, can you guys stop coming over because this ladder is getting higher and higher. I can't catch up.
Just think about it. If we did it now, it would be terrible.
Yeah, it'd be like Twitch Junior.
Yeah.
We don't need another Twitch. Stop coming. Locking the doors. Community support for recognizing the game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness. Apex Legends, which they did an admirable job. Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege. Siege is definitely not getting it.
I'm going to leave this one up to you just because you're the multiplayer person.
Destiny 2 was a shit show, and
it's
it took them
still very much a mess now.
Yeah, it took them a while to fix a lot of stuff, so they're definitely not getting it, and that's probably because of their Activision-Bungie split. So for me, it's between Apex and Fortnite. I honestly don't know how the support is for Fortnite. The only big thing that I heard that everybody hated about it this year was the mechs, and they took a little long to fix that whole thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then Apex, just weapon balancing, which they were pretty on top of. I don't really know. I like Apex, so I'd prefer to vote for them.
Then Apex gets it.
Audio design. Modern Warfare. Okay, even though I hate the game, gameplay is complete ass and made for noobs.
But that's not what the category's for.
Right.
What's the category description?
It's recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design.
Okay.
So, that aside, they do have amazing sound.
Okay.
Control, I haven't really heard much of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of watched a little bit of Nate play it, but what else is there?
Stranding, which...
Yeah.
I mean,
there's some sound design in there when he's walking around in his backpack and you can kind of hear the jingles of the bag.
And him, like,
taking a
scuttling
whiz
down hills.
Oh,
shit.
that too.
Gears 5, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's definitely really good sound design too.
Resident Evil 2.
That's really good sound design. And it's a horror game, which needs really good sound design.
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. It was good. Yeah. I don't know. It's
I'm gonna give my vote.
Here.
I'm gonna give my vote to Resident Evil just because that was the game I played. But I've seen Death Stranding. That might be the one that I would have voted for if I had played it at this current moment in time.
That's what I would vote for, is Death Stranding.
Do we need a token?
From South Park?
No. Oh man, I don't have a cap with me. Hey Siri.
Hey Siri. Flip a coin.
Resident Evil's heads.
It rolled under. Fuck you. What?
It rolled under the bed.
It rolled under the bed. Flip a coin.
Resident Evil wins.
All right.
Let it get this category because it won't win anything else. So.
Jesus Christ.
Rolled under the bed. I've never heard her say that. Okay, what's the next one?
Art direction.
Okay, this is a good one.
Creative and technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Control. It was okay.
The art style is really good.
Death Stranding.
It's pretty good too.
Yeah, but it's not very vibrant either.
It's not necessarily what it said. Just
I
said
know,
best
but,
art.
best art, but it just I don't know.
Let's see what else there is. Let's see what else there is.
Grease. Or
Oh,
Gris.
Gris, yeah.
I don't know how to.
Gris. I might be pronouncing it wrong too, but I know a lot of people like that game too. Very pretty.
Sayonara, Wild Hearts.
That's that mobile game.
Sekiro, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Link's Awakening.
So is that it? That's the last game?
Yeah. So here's the thing. They're all very different art styles.
I'm looking based on the genre of the game is in and how good they executed that art style. That's how I'm voting. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think. It's tough.
I'm surprised you didn't go Link's Awakening right away.
Well, I'm trying to be unbiased.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I thought that was the art style you liked.
Well, it's not the traditional Link style.
Oh, he's one of those.
Look,
he's one of those. I know.
It's very shiny. It's like Tunic.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
My two would be Link's Awakening and Death Stranding. Because, I mean, there are scenery spots that are very pretty in that game. Of what I've seen. And how graphically enhanced that game is. I think Death Stranding is really good. On the other hand, on the cartoon style of things, I think Link's Awakening looks very pretty. Vibrant is one of the vocab words you said. So, that's my two. Whether you choose to acknowledge those two, that's up to you.
We'll go Link.
Link wins. Link's Awakening wins. Even though Death Stranding will probably win.
Probably.
Because I just have a feeling because they're in so many categories, they're going to win at least 2 or 3 of these awards.
Okay, we need to at least win one.
Yeah. It would suck if they didn't win anything. That would suck.
Man. Well, it got bad ratings because of the gameplay.
Yeah, I heard you either love it or you hate it. It's like, I don't know if there's really a middle ground there.
So, best action adventure game.
Okay, this is my genre here.
So, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving.
Yep.
Borderlands 3, I don't know what the traversal would be for that game.
Oh, there's some puzzle solving in there. You got to to take down the boss, so you got to go find stuff to go take the boss down.
Okay.
If again, I've only played very few of Borderlands, but of the other Borderlands, that's kind of how you play it. So if it's more Borderlands, which is what I've heard, should be exactly the same, right?
So there's also Control.
Okay. This is best action picture. Okay.
Death Stranding.
Okay.
Resident Evil 2.
Okay. Keep going.
Link's Awakening.
Yep.
Sekiro. Sekiro's not going to get it.
Okay.
For me, it'd be Link, Resident Evil 2, one of those.
I give it a Resident Evil.
Cool.
Because that game is really good. And the puzzles aren't difficult, but they're just enough difficult that if you're new to Resident Evil, you won't be completely lost. That's what I like about it.
Best action game. Apex.
Okay.
Astral Chain. Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Are you pausing for dramatic effect?
Devil May Cry 5.
Okay.
Gears 5. Metro Exodus.
Ooh, Metro. And this is for what? Best action game?
Mm-hmm.
Metro was really good. Very pretty game. Can you read the description of the category?
The best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat.
Okay, so combat is...
I'm going to go Gears.
Gears is really good. I'm going to give it to Gears, too. Because Metro does have those very close combat stuff, because obviously those mutant things that are running around. But Gears, obviously, the characters are so well... The enemies are so well done. And then I felt like I wasn't abundantly overwhelmed like I was in Gears 4. And I think Gears 5 definitely did some work on
it. Game of the year.
Oh, wow, this is it. Okay, what is the game of the year?
Control.
Got it.
Death Stranding.
Okay.
Resident Evil 2. I know what you're voting.
No, let's see.
Sekiro. Smash Bros. Ultimate. And The Outer Worlds. Oh, shit.
I know. I knew what was in this category. There are 2 games in here that I even had. Now, as I've told you, Resident Evil 2 was my game of the year all year long. And then Outer Worlds came out. And now I'm like, Now, I've heard some people have been complaining about there have been some bugs in the
Yes,
game
there
that
were.
hard crashes the game to pretty much not allow you to advance. Since then, they have fixed that. There was an update that came out, and it has fixed that situation.
It took them a couple of weeks to get it done, but they did it.
Yeah. So we have to take an accountability. Is that going to affect the Outer Worlds in that aspect of things?
Yes, because
Okay.
it's a complete game, so
Okay.
that will go into the
Because
score.
Resident Evil 2 didn't have any bugs. So
Yeah,
as
but
far as I played.
For me,
But it is a
personally-
remake,
exactly,
and I know
So
a lot
for
of people
me-
are going to be salty about it.
For me, it's even though it's plays completely different and it looks completely different,
Yeah.
it's still you don't have to do it. A lot of the work is already done. You're just remaking the world and the combat.
Yeah, I think the best description of it was, if it wasn't for the original Resident Evil 2, we wouldn't have got the remake.
Yes.
With that said, I think they did a really good job on it, and honestly, I think it comes down. I don't think I can tell myself that this game is worthy. I don't know worthy is the right word, but can't hit that mark because it is considered that remake. Because I also fought for Fortnite not winning Game of the Year last year, not getting nominated, because I felt like that game didn't qualify because it came out last year. Now they've officially hardline said games that come out in December, well, after they make the ballot, anything after that gets qualified for the next Game Awards. So, like, all the Jedi, I think, won't make it until next year. A couple other games that came out towards the end.
You got to have at least like over a month of it being out.
Yeah. Actually, no. Because Pokemon wasn't nominated either because it came out after the nominations. So that's also a thing. I was trying to think of, because I thought Jedi came out the same time as one of the other games, and it was Pokemon. That's why that did not get nominated. So those games will get pushed to 2020. Anyway.
So for me, it's going to be the Outer Worlds, mainly because it kind of breathes some more life back into the RPG genre, especially for console, because we don't have a lot of good ones compared to like PC. Even though it is a AA game, and some people are like, "Oh, it's not even a AAA game. I don't know why it's getting Game of the Year." Well, they were able to use their resources and make something really special, and the amount of humor and amazing dialogue and choices and all types of awesome shit you can do in the game, and just like the little tiny secrets laying around, they put in a lot of work, and I really, really enjoyed the game. Even though I'm a huge Smash fan.
I know, that's why I thought it was going to come down to those two games for you. But you didn't vote for Smash.
No,
you decided to give this to
because there's
Outer Worlds.
There's less to do in that game. Usually, for like fighting games, they're hard for me to vote on because there's less for you to do.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Okay. I think I'm going to give this to Outer Worlds. I later have said that this game definitely was in my contention for this year. I also have not played Death Stranding at this moment in time, and I have not played Control over this time. Though, I have heard, I'm basing it off of the mixed signals that Death Stranding had. The second guessing I had based on watching the final gameplay stuff of Death Stranding, kind of seeing that it's not maybe a game for me. Maybe it might be a Christmas game I ask for one of my grandparents to get me. But I don't feel like I'm going to pay $60 for it just based on what I've seen. The Outer Worlds, I would have paid $60 if it wasn't on Game Pass.
Yeah.
If I paid $60 for Resident Evil 2. Control I didn't get, but Nate said it was pretty good. So, and it's made by Remedy, which I love Remedy. So with all that, The Outer Worlds is going to get my Game of the Year vote as well.
All right. Well, that concludes it. That's all the voting we had.
Yay! And we only did that in 40 minutes.
Hey, yeah. Nice short video.
That bit is always the longest one, and I'm glad we got it out of the way.
Sorry, guys.
All right, on to the next one. There you go. Next topic. The next topic is Riot. As I have been playing League of Legends, I have kind of been reading up on a lot of Riot news, and unfortunately, there was one that came out relatively recently, that wasn't such good stuff happening for Riot.
Bro.
Exactly. Bro. This is written by over there on IGN, written by Logan Plant. All right. Plant. All the Plant family. The Plant family is proud. Titled Riot Games to pay out $10 million in gender discrimination lawsuit.
Ooh. I will never
right.
see that much money in my entire life.
Riot Games, publisher of League of Legends, will pay at least $10 million as part of the settlement in its class action lawsuit on gender-based discrimination. The lawsuit was settled in August of this year, but new court documents have revealed the details of the settlement. As reported by the Los Angeles Times, a Riot spokesperson said, quote, "We're pleased to have a proposed settlement to fully resolve the class action lawsuit. The settlement is another important step forward not step on. The settlement is another important step forward and demonstrates the commitment to living up to the values and to making Riot an inclusive environment for the industry's best talent," end quote. By the way, step in if you have anything you need to say too. Don't feel like you need me to finish this whole thing. The Los Angeles Times reported that the money will go to women employees who have worked at Riot Games over the last 5 years.
Oh.
The approximately 1,000 female identifying employees who worked at Riot between
That's
November.
a lot of money.
And here's the other thing. That's a lot of people, and it's also worked at Riot between November 2014 and the time of the settlement, which is in August of this year, is complete, will be eligible to receive a part of the settlement. Just how much each current or former employee receives will be determined in part of how long they worked at Riot Games and whether they were full-time or worked under a contract.
Oh, my God, dude, they're making bank.
Update. This article previously stated that women employees would have a chance to self-identify as female to receive part of the settlement. We've updated the article for clarity, which I just read. So the original one probably just said women, and now it has been updated that people that identify as a woman. That was what he was just clarifying.
Okay.
He's just clarifying that was what he said. The lawsuit against Riot began in November 2018 when 2 Riot Games employees, one current and one former, sued the company for endemic gender-based discrimination and fostering a men-first environment. The class action lawsuit said Riot Games was fostering a sexually hostile working environment.
Oh, man.
And accused the company of violating California's Equal Pay Act. This came after an investigation from Kotaku reported on the alleged culture of sexism at Riot Games. The company released a response to Kotaku's report in August of 2018, 3 months before the lawsuit, which included the statement, "We have a zero-tolerance policy on discrimination, harassment, retaliation, bullying, and gender toxicity." The response was wildly criticized, however, for not directly addressing some of the main issues found in Kotaku's report. Earlier this year, in May, Riot Games employees staged a walkout, which I do remember. I remember them walking out and doing the whole thing.
They had a riot?
They just walked out to protest forced... what is that? I don't want to mess that word up.
Where are you at?
Right there.
Forced arbitration?
There you go. Which prevents employees from filing a lawsuit in the event of a dispute. Riot Games employees in Dublin, Ireland joined their Los Angeles team members with a walkout of their own. When the lawsuit was settled earlier this year, a spokesperson from the Riot Walkout group said the result brought peace of mind to women employees at Riot Games, but that the issue at the company go beyond gender, and that the group wants to recognize the victims who aren't covered in the suit. This was written by Logan Plant, is a writer for IGN and the production assistant for Nintendo Voice Chat, IGN's weekly Nintendo show.
Wow. So no details on what they actually did?
Well, this was the your Siri, your phone's going off. This is the ending result of that.
She's like, whoa, man.
This is the ending result of that, which is Riot Games is paying out $10 million in this gender discrimination lawsuit.
Wow.
So that's all of the information, and then the title of this headline was what has happened so far.
Damn, I'd like to know the full story, but I guess
I mean,
we'll
that
never
is the
know.
full story.
Well, no, I'd like to know like what specific accusations were made.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I know that there was...
I don't necessarily know what a bro environment means.
Yeah, so the bro environment thing
'Cause that's
was
like-
what CBS wrote. There's a CBS article that I think interviewed a few more employees. With IGN, they just kind of went through the whole thing, I think, and summarized everything. There's a CBS article that does interview a couple other employees. Yeah, and I read that article earlier today.
Do they mean like a frat boy environment?
I think that is what they're trying to clarify. Yeah, is the
like
bro
someone,
mentality.
Like, gets offended by something, he's like, "Oh, whatever, bitch."
Yeah, probably. There's
like an idiot.
more like a frat sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I can't say that the Riot team and the Riot head guys are not that way. I've never met them. Obviously, I've seen the documentary. They seem pretty nice guys there. But then again, so did Kevin Spacey, and look where he turned out. So I don't know where a lot of these guys, I don't know where people have these skeletons in the closet, and
Why can't you just be nice to people?
I don't know. I think that's
no one to
that's
stop
where
fucking around.
that's where this world has come to. Why can't we all just be nice to one another? Who knows? We don't know the question. We don't know the answer to that question.
mean, playful, like, shit talking, that's cool. But if you're being like straight up rude to somebody, you're gonna get what you deserve. So,
How do you feel about this whole thing entirely?
well, I mean, that's a lot of money to be spread
To
across
1,000
people.
10 million to 1,000.
And I'm curious of how they got to that number of, like, how damaging must it have been for them to get that much money. Like, that's I need to know what happened. Like,
Yeah,
now
because
it's
like there seems to be there might be some stuff that we aren't knowing entirely, and we probably never will know, because we're only getting this information because it's based on released information, as opposed to this court
and
session was probably not open to the public.
And
But
if it was class action, I mean, it must have been pretty broad stroke thing, like nothing super specific, unless it was a like straight up pattern of disrespect, which is what it sounds like. But I mean, it's not like it can't be like someone went and like grabbed a chick's ass at work, unprecedented, because then it'd just be going to that one person.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
it has to
'cause-
be just a pattern of people like being
being
assholes.
treated that way,
Yeah.
that are identifying as women, because that's what we've been updated as, is if you identify as a woman, this is what you're getting. But yeah, apparently, and also they weren't getting paid as much as the guy employees were,
which is illegal.
with and also even more specifically to California's laws. Yeah, I don't really understand when I hear things like that, of like how that all comes to be, of where
If you can do the job, you can do the job. You
Well,
get paid as much as the next person.
Yeah, and then this is also comes down to when I was watching an episode of Adam Ruins Everything. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Yeah.
So he talks about like he jokingly makes a thing of when people try to hide how much they make, and that doesn't benefit anybody except your boss. Like if Ashton and I were working at the same job doing the same thing, and he was getting paid $100 more than I was, he won't tell me, because in his mind our society has told him to not say that. But in actuality, that's just a made up thing, that it actually would benefit us both if he said that how much he made, sort of thing. Am I making this clear, kind of thing?
People should share their incomes. That way they make sure they're being paid equally.
Exactly. That's the end of that. that's what I was getting to. Any final words on this one? It's a shitty situation. That's what it is.
I mean, just treat everybody equally.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares, man? They do the job, pay them.
Yeah. We're moving on to our final topic. This is a little bit of a fun one. I wanted to end 2019 off with a little bit of a fun one.
Yeah, light note.
Yeah, this is actually going to be our last Bitcade episode of 2019. Can you believe that? It's already been you've been on Bitcade for a full year.
I have.
Yeah, how does that feel?
Feels like I've only been doing it for like a couple months. But
Exactly. See, that's the benefit of us breaking it down because we only do like 12 episodes a year. But I wanted to do a fun one where we are going to rate 10 controllers, at least the ones that I can find. These aren't all the ones I actually have. But 10 controllers.
10 controllers of all time.
Yes. They range from all sorts of different places. Where do you want to? Do you want to just go like down this line?
Let's go from the.
From this one down.
Let's go from origin, from chronological order.
Oh my god. That wasn't me. Obviously, you saw his face. So I'm gonna do these ones. I'm gonna do these ones first since they're closer.
Okay.
These are the Joy-Cons, aka the Nintendo Switch's controllers. What we're going to do is we're gonna rate this on a 0 to 10 scale. And I'm going to give a score, Ash is going to give a score, and then we're going to average it out, just like how we do in Movie Combat. And then we are going to see who has the top score at the end of this bit. All right?
Okay.
So far, okay, maybe I should take the nubs off because I feel like that's cheating a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Right there. So far, I'm going to let you hold one of these.
I mean, hold your Joy-Con.
They're super small.
Yes.
And that was like the major thing.
That was my major upset
about these controllers here. But I mean, the thing is, I've had a Vita, I've had a PSP, and these don't feel like that. These feel nice. The little joysticks. I think the construction of the controller is very good. The buttons are fine. I will say the connectivity on these things are shite. They're not very far. You can't go very far on them, and that annoys me sometimes. What are you thinking? You need both?
No, I don't.
Okay. Oh man, you just handed me this.
Or
are you ready
I
to
have
vote?
big hands. For me, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very plasticky.
It's like I'm trying to play a video game with an iPod Shuffle.
Okay. It is about that size.
Yeah, it's just an iPod Shuffle's more square.
Yeah.
Maybe a Nano. Nano would be
that
closer.
HD Rumble though.
HD Rumble's
that was
cool.
very nice.
I mean, so here's the thing. I like the versatility of it, and I like that it's supposed to be. You can take it off the main console and play however the hell you want. But a lot of times, if you play co-op, you're two-handing this little tiny thing.
Yeah, the co-op is
co-op
pretty bad.
is not great, even though it's hard to rate this controller with other ones just because it's so different.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to some different ones.
But
that is definitely the different
for
one. For
me, it gets a 7.
A 7? That's a pretty decent score.
It's not bad. It's not.
I'm gonna give it.
I'm not Japanese. I don't have the small hands.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it some bonus points just because I have used when I'm laying in bed like this, and I'll just be lazy and I'll prop the switch up and I'll just like sit like this, and I can be really comfortable. Try it out. You can do it. I will dock it points though. It is super small and it's super annoying with the connectivity issues that it does have. This is the Gen 1 Switch Joy-Cons. I haven't run into them very often, but I have at other people's houses when it does come in to play. If things are obstructing it, it does not work very good. Yeah, I think I'm going to give this. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I was thinking 6 or 7. I'm just gonna go right in the middle. 6.5. All right. Okay, cool. I'm gonna let you be scorekeeper here since I have to get the controllers. So we'll just write Joy-Con, and then I did 6.5 and you did a 7. So, okay, which I think is a 6.75. All right. The next one of my first ever controllers that I ever got to play with, the Nintendo 64 controller. This is the Pokemon branded one. The Nintendo 64 controller. Very light for what it is. Yeah, it's very light. I feel it.
Oh, wow.
This does a lot for what it was back in 1996. Like this backpack right here, you can put they made an adapter so that you could play Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on Pokemon Stadium. Like, and there was a Rumble Pack that came with this game, well, that you could get for 64. But yeah, that is a weird.
Yeah, the 3 handle
Control.
thing is so weird, and it has a Z button underneath.
It does have a Z button.
Those you new kids out there,
Born
little
after
gray thing in the center, that's
2001.
a trigger.
Yeah, that was
which
a trigger.
you
yeah.
use in every game. So you have to hold
yeah.
it in the middle for most games like this, and you're just like you're holding it like this
Yeah.
over the other buttons, and then
Yeah, that D-pad is
D-pad.
pretty bad.
Nobody uses it.
That was a
And
pretty
then
bad
like
D-pad.
you have to get your hand off the trigger to use the left bumper, so it's like it's an iconic design
Yes.
for one,
Yeah.
and it was revolutionary for its time. Today, oh fuck, you cannot play anything with this. It is not good.
I will say, because this is an original controller. This is from my original 64. Okay. I take really good care of my controllers, so my wire's not frayed. My joystick actually still works, which most people's are broken.
Yeah, usually they're loose. Or they snap.
Yeah, but mine's still very much working. So for that majority, I'm gonna have to dock at some points on that too.
Yeah, durability is pretty terrible.
The buttons, they're pretty.
They can get
stiff.
stuck, yeah.
The A and B button. I think I remember that
They end
being
up
a
getting
thing.
stiff. So durability, like we said, is not super great on these things.
I'm gonna give
I
this.
will say though.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I will say though, in its time, it was the only controller out there that had so many different variations of it. Like take Xbox One controllers when they came out. There'd be like you have
Well, as you can see,
game-specific
it says
ones.
Pokemon right on
This
there.
one has Pokemon. They also had like a see-through.
And there's the backpack.
See-through
apparatus.
versions of it. So it's like they had like a purple, a green, a red, a white, a blue. They had like all sorts of different colors, and then they had like the standard gold, red, blue, and black, I believe.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And then they also had another line where it was the shiny ones, like gold and silver and shit. So I mean,
I'm ready to vote.
they were on it, but I'm gonna give this one a 6.
I'm gonna go 6. You know what? I'm gonna go 6 as well. The number of the beast. Just because I would have gave it a little bit more points. I think this would have been like maybe a 5 or so, but I think this adapter is way ahead of its time. That D-pad is just garbage. That's a garbage D-pad. But the buttons
I think
are okay.
they're just trying to make it symmetrical.
And the fact that this joystick breaks a lot, I got to dock some points there too. What are our scores so far?
So Joy-Cons, we have 13.5 combined score, and Nintendo 64 has 12.
Okay. Next, the PlayStation 3 controller. This is the DualShock 3. Man, it feels weird holding this. This is super annoying. I hated this controller. It's so small. It's so tiny
Yeah,
compared to the PS4 controller, which is a little bit farther down our line of randomness here. But, yeah.
No.
Oh, you're not even going to hold it? You got to at least hold it in order to make this fair.
I know how it feels.
You got to hold it. Put it in your hands.
Fucking flinging across the room. Yeah, I usually don't like PlayStation controllers. They're too small. My hand covers this entire thing. Like, yeah, it's.
Now, a
I
lot of
play
people would
one-handed.
fight for that controller, though. I'm just saying.
Whatever.
But I'm not.
I'm not
It's
impressed.
it's very light. There's nothing in this thing. Almost as light as the 64 controller. I'm gonna have to give this a 4. I'm gonna give this a 4.
Oh, I'd rate it a 6.
Okay.
Even though I really hate it, it wasn't like a super bad controller.
What did you have originally? Oh, you had a 6. No, it's fine. It's fine. You had a 6. You had 6.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not. If
Why
you have
it's
small hands, it could be a good controller.
I don't like it at all.
But yeah, it's not great.
The Xbox 360 controller. Don't worry, I literally just put stickers on this. This is an old controller. I took the battery pack out though, so we'll have to imagine the big power brick that's in the back of this thing. This is a heavy controller when it has batteries in it. When it doesn't, it does lose a little bit of weight. Yeah, the D-pad's pretty shite in
Yeah,
this.
D-pad is trash. I don't know. It kind of it's. I will say this, even though I like it more than the PlayStation 3 controller, this one is way uglier. Ooh, yeah. I remember the sticks would always come a little bit more loose the more that you play. Some of the buttons would tend to stick. One thing that I will say is that it is not pretty. It's pretty ugly.
This is minus those stickers there. But
I
there's
will.
I didn't
rate
show
it,
the other controller.
I will rate it higher than the PlayStation 3 just because of the
This is the
the
PS3
format.
controller.
Yeah.
Just to be fair with it. Oh, that was my phone.
Xbox controller feels better in your hands though, which is what's more important than the way that it looks. So I'm gonna go with a
360. I thought the triggers were good in this,
yeah, they're fine.
but obviously, we got the better version of that in the Xbox One. But I think at the time, you can barely hear it.
I'm giving it a 7.
You're giving it a 7. I think I'll have to agree with you. I'm gonna give that a 7 too. I would have gave it an 8. That D-pad is garbage. It is the worst. It's almost to the quality of that N64 one. This one just moves better. But yeah, the joysticks. I never had a problem with sticking on joysticks. I know a lot of people did. I know a lot of people that
Just
had
drifting. Yeah.
problems with rubbing this whole thing off. I don't have that problem. I don't sweat through my hands with salt like some people do. I took this controller to parties and events and stuff, so people have used my controller and have rubbed that all off. I've had this controller for a really long time. I think the home button was built pretty well. The start and back buttons are not very good either. These are very much in the middle and in the way, so that's why I gave it a 7. The Xbox One controller. This is the Project. Oh, wow, that is a jump and a half. This is the Project Scarlet edition, Scorpio. Sorry, Project Scorpio edition controller.
Oh yeah.
This is Xbox One's thing. They definitely upgraded by putting the batteries in the back. Took away that whole big weird constricting spot that the 360s had. The joysticks are
much better.
One of my favorite joysticks in video games. The triggers are
much better.
Almost nothing, which the triggers are a big thing for me. If they make too much sound, I don't want to hear that. Also, the rumbles, the vibration motors that are in the triggers, as well as the full controller, is a big upgrade from the 360. The D-pad got fixed. It's definitely still not great. The buttons are a lot better. The start and I call the sandwich button and the menu button. Those buttons feel a little bit better. They're not so constricted to the center like the 360 had its home button in the same spot as them.
Design's a lot cleaner for the top as well. It's not all weird and curvy. It also feels somehow lighter.
Yeah.
And it just has a really sleek design for all their controllers. And what's really cool, even though you can't really factor it in too much, Xbox Design Lab, you can literally make a controller do your own specs for like $10 more than a normal controller.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to go. One thing I will say, it does have a glitch or connectivity issue or something in the batteries where it will just say reconnect your controller or your controller is turned off, like your batteries died, and it'll just be blinking, or it won't blink actually. It'll just the bright LED will be on, and you're like, no, it's on, and you can't work, so you have to take your battery pack out and put it back in. Happens to a lot of the Xbox One controllers. That is one major flaw that I have seen. Other than that, nothing else.
The fact that they also allowed this controller to work with your PC, you literally plug in a mini USB to USB, and it just works. The 360 controller did that for a long time until the Windows made an update where everyone was then required to get one of these. But
you can also get the S version with the Bluetooth built in.
Yes,
But those are $80.
those are There's also the Pro 2s, what is
Elite.
Elite 2s. That's right. Those have built-in Bluetooth as well. This is the non-grip one. I know that if you can buy ones now.
With
the $60
grips,
ones have the rubberized grips, which is also a great addition for those people that do have sweaty hands. This is my stock one that I got with the Xbox One X. Since I don't sweat that often, it doesn't bug me, and I'm usually pretty fine.
I'm a sweaty tryhard.
I will say those are pretty loud joysticks as well.
Yes.
But you can put nubs on them and call it a day as well. I'm going to give this an 8.
I gave it a 9.
I would have probably went that way too. One thing I don't like is the mini USB. I don't like mini USBs. They break a lot. I know a lot of people that have lost controllers because of the mini USB breaking. And it's just a really not great thing to use. I don't like devices that have mini USBs in them. I know USB-C wasn't really around at this time. It was, but it wasn't common. I do think that they upgraded very well, but I'm just going to give it an 8. So the Switch Pro controller. This is the Switch Pro controller. Offset joysticks, which is also a thing we haven't really talked about, but that is my preferred method of gameplay. The Switch Pro controller is very square.
Yeah,
I will give it that.
It's real wide. It's so one thing.
Can you need me to hold that?
So
I know it keeps rolling off when you're trying to hold it.
I don't know. So what's really cool about this though is they have the amiibo support for certain games.
Yeah. It's on the joystick, right? Or is it in the center?
For these, I believe it's in the center.
Got it. Okay.
But on the Joy-Cons, on the stick.
Yeah, it's not on the stick.
So I forgot to say that about the Joy-Cons, but they have their amiibo support. They're like $15 for each figurine, or you can get the cards, and they're way cheaper. Do the same thing. You just don't get to look at anything pretty on your desk. Yeah, I mean when you look at it, it definitely kind of looks like Nintendo. Like especially even with the bumpers and the triggers, there's almost no sound.
This is also running in at one of the highest controllers price that we have in the list. This is more expensive than an Xbox One controller because that's $80, which is
it's
outright
insane.
ridiculous.
Yes,
because to me, there isn't much difference in that other than it has that AR support with the amiibos. It has its own Bluetooth connectivity, even though some people have finagled their ways of using this on their PC. But you got to jump through hoops. It's just that's way too expensive for a controller.
Yeah.
For a device that doesn't need a controller.
Yeah, and it's also one thing I'm not a huge fan of the buttons, just because they kind of feel like the D-pad, for example, feels almost sticky, but it's not. Like it takes a bit for you to push it in if you want to test that out. The overall look of the controller, it's kind of ugly.
They do have this pleather wrapping on the controller too.
Yeah, I don't know. The controller itself is not a looker.
No headphone jack either. No connectivity of headphones.
Yeah, there's no battery pack you can put in. It's straight up charge only.
I also think these are really close to each other.
Yes.
But, I mean, if you're a fighter, then maybe...
Well, yeah, and it's also... You don't have a lot of shooting games, first-person shooters or anything on the Switch. But now you do.
Here's my trigger test. It's like nothing. There's no
you got
sound.
Fortnite and whatnot now on there. But, I don't know. For me, it's an ugly controller.
I feel like the Y button's really over there.
Yeah, and it's the button placement is a little bit off. It's really crammed there on the right side. With everything over there, and the start and menu buttons are trash.
Huh.
And the sticks, if you notice, they don't have. See, they have that little ridge there, like the Xbox One controller, but instead of making a little divot down to hold your thumb, it's pointing up, almost like a PlayStation controller.
Oh yeah, it does. It has
So you
it's
slide
like a
right
bubble,
over. You slide
instead
right
of
over.
this, it's this.
Yes. So it's you end up sliding off if you got sweaty hands like I do.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this.
I'm giving it a 6. Maybe a
I'm gonna
maybe
give it a
5.5.
6.5. 5.5. Wow. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 because I like the triggers. They're very like
I don't.
buttons. They're very silent. There's no sound.
You're giving it a 6, you said?
Yes. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, for a modern controller, that's to me it's a shit job.
The PlayStation 4 controller, the DualShock 4, as they like to call
This
it.
one's a little better than the third one.
That D-pad's not that great either.
No.
They definitely didn't change too much on the triggers, but they did change them. I'll give them that. It definitely feels more of a I'm pulling a trigger on this. X, circle, triangle, and square, good real estate, I think. The share and options button, to me, are just they're easy to access.
You don't ever think about them, though.
But I will say, because of this god-awful touchpad, they actually are in good positions to do stuff in. I always forget they're there, though, because I always go right to the middle because normal controllers have them in the middle, and the PlayStation 3 had it also. But since that touchpad has been there, they moved them to the so close that all you got to do is just boop right up to the top, and then you can hit pause and whatever.
I'm not a fan of the touchpad.
No, the touchpad's terrible because they didn't utilize it. This is garbage. I don't like this light beaming when I'm playing in the dark. I don't want to have a rave. I just want to play my video game. The speaker in the controller is a cool touch when games use it. Most of the time they don't. But it is a cool feature. I'll give it that because there has been moments that I've been like, oh, that's so cool when it happens. And then when it doesn't happen, then I totally forget that it's even there. The joysticks, they're quiet. They're pretty quiet. They kind of almost distract me from the fact that their triggers are still not great. They're so small. They're so tiny.
Yeah.
I'll let you play around with that.
Oh, God. Yeah, so this is the stick I don't like. So my main thing... So, all right, so this controller. Usually I have a huge problem with PlayStation controller size being too small. This one is closer to the way I like my controllers. I wouldn't dock it too much with the size factor, just because I think they really stepped it up this time. I can feel it in my hands. However, all the business is in the front. There's no party in the back. I'm not getting any good feeling with my pointer finger and my middle finger. For the bumpers are real small, and the triggers again are real small. You can literally slip off of them.
It was kind of like the PlayStation. The upgrade from the PlayStation 3 controller was the fact that these are curved now.
Well, yeah, and that they're curved, and that's great. But
the Xbox One is better because it's more curved. It's longer.
These buttons are too short. They need to extend them out a little bit, give them a little duck bill. That's fine, but I feel like I'm literally holding the controller mostly just like this, with fingers in the back, holding the handles, and then you just have your fingers on top are actually gripping the controller when you play. So I don't know how people play first-person shooters effectively without any sort of mods. And these thumbsticks, I always hate the thumbsticks for PlayStation controllers because they have the little bubble. They don't have the divot to actually hold your thumbs in place. You can slip around and whatever. And I also hate the material for the sticks. I don't like them. They feel weird. I'm not a fan. They're very contradictory to the rest of the controller. They feel different from every other part of the controller.
Yeah, they definitely stand out.
And they're gray
for their rubber. Yeah, this is the very standard PlayStation 4 controller. I do know a lot of people will fight to the death for this controller as well. It's just, I felt like all they did was they made it wider, which it did need to do. I think what the PlayStation 3 was, this is a giant update from that controller.
I like it a lot more than the PlayStation 3 controller.
Yeah.
A lot more.
I do think that some of the features, when they're used, are great. I understand what this is for. I know what the light was designed and what has now been what it is being used for with VR. And it does work very well. It's a very good tracker for VR. But the fact that I cannot turn this off is dumb. It also went with the USB-C, or not USB-C, micro USB for its charging. This was actually its full design from the very beginning was the 3.5 jack already built in there. And then they have their little proprietary thing that's there as well. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
I gave it a 6.5
because I do think it is a good controller. It's a decently good controller. It is not great. The Xbox One, I think, is where my heart resides. I also like the offset controllers, offset sticks.
It doesn't bug me as much on this controller
aligned.
as it did like the PlayStation 3 or the other controller we're going to be talking about.
Let's take a blast from the past. This is the NES controller. It is the square rectangular buttons. This is actually from the NES Classic, as you can see from its little adapter here. But it is nonetheless the same exact design that it would have been. I actually do have an NES that does have those exact controllers. They are the exact same, no more, no less. I don't know. There's something about that controller.
Okay, so here's my thing. Durability is actually pretty good on these, from what I remember.
I don't remember anyone saying my controller is broken.
Yes.
That's my thing. I've never heard anyone say that.
The thing is, with this, other than its iconic, awesome look, nice retro vibe, this, if you were to pick this up now versus, picking it up for the first time back when this was first out, you would hate it because you're used to just straddling your controller, like this, and playing like that. But on this one, in order to have optimal input, you're playing at holding the corners down here just to get everything done, and you're holding everything by the buttons. So that's kind of a problem. But for the games that it was normally used for, it's lots of platformers.
Well, Mario Brothers was played on this, and
anything like tennis, pong, some other shit.
I mean, there might have been an NES Pong, Castlevania, Metroid. Those games were playing on there.
Yeah, it's some, it's.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't need a stick for the games that were on there, so I'm not going to dock it for that.
But I will say, even though this D-pad looks super cheap, it works really well.
It does work really good.
I never really had a problem with, I pressed the wrong button or I did this. But, I'm holding this. If I hold it up right here, right at the top part of my, and I have to play it like this, I think this is the actual way that you're supposed to hold this thing. But the A and B, they just are right there. They're boom, 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 boom. You can play your controller right there.
Yeah, but I feel like they're too much of a reach down. They need to put it up about a half
You
inch.
felt about right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like this controller. This is one of my favorite controllers of all time. Is the NES controller, just based on, and this wasn't even the first controller I had. The 64 was actually.
I'm more of a Super Nintendo kind of guy.
Which I do have, but it's just somewhere in a box, and I don't want to dig it out. But yeah, I don't know. I'll dock it a little bit of points because that D-pad is definitely its original decision of being put there for whatever reason. I'm gonna give it a 6. Based on today's standards, it probably would have got a higher score if it was about 10 years earlier, but I'm gonna give it a solid 6.
I'll give it a 5.
Okay. Let's head back to PlayStation. Why not? Because there's about 5 more controllers of this stuff. No, this is the last one. I don't have a PS1 controller, so we're not going to rate that one. This is the PlayStation 2 controller. This is not the last one. This is second to last.
Yeah.
This is the PlayStation 2 controller, obviously wired.
So, okay. So.
Wow. Where did that go? Why did they get rid of that?
The dual bumpers instead of triggers.
Why did they get rid of this?
Yeah, so this is the controller I grew up with.
This was also my predominantly grown-on controller.
This actually feels good in my hand because it's not that it's wider, because it's not. It's not wider than the controllers that we've seen before. But the bumpers here are actually raised, so it's perfect for bigger hands. You know,
Yeah.
it's most of them is just flat on
Is
the
this a
top here.
DualShock? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Or the Stanks, or I don't know what they had. They had like, didn't they have like two? PS3 had two different companies making everything.
So D-pad was always pretty good. The start buttons in the
Wasn't even
analog
DualShock.
were kind of shit because they're. So the way it's formatted here, all the there's little platforms here for all your buttons and your D-pad, and then you have to get in this little hole right here to get to the start button. If you need to pause anything, so you literally, whenever you had to pause something, you went.
Yeah, you had to take
You're
your
like-
hand and go like that.
Unless you wanted to like reach over the button.
Yeah,
so
see
it's-
that was my thing with the PS4 controller was
Oh,
because that touchpad got put there, it allowed that start and share button,
actually, I
the
remember what I
options and
did.
share button right there.
So what I would do, and I wouldn't take my hand off. What I would do is I'd just reach over with the opposite finger, because the controller wasn't super wide. You were able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one thing I didn't like about the controller at the time were the sticks, the fabric, like the material, because it doesn't. It does stick your finger, so it keeps your fingers on there, keeps your thumbs on there at all times. I never had an issue with slipping unless my dad was eating bacon with his fingers like an asshole and using the controller.
This D-pad's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not like amazing, but
It's definitely
it's
still
good.
one button though.
So the sticks,
The
they always got
Did you see
dirty
how small these
just
are
because of
compared
like
to
the material they're made of. They're kind of like sticky feeling almost, so they felt gross sometimes. But in terms of like the feel and the how everything works, it was a fantastic controller.
Yeah, I mean, I hold my controller like a normal person, so
No,
that's
you
a different
don't.
topic for a different time. So when I hold my controller, where I was complaining with the PS3 and the PS4 DualShocks is my fingers are now they're snug in there. They're like there's not a problem of me having this like woo like this wild all over the place thing, and I mean, I don't know. I do like the back buttons. Obviously, these are super. I don't like the bumpers too much. The full button connections here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it is the right size, but for some reason, when I have it with the PS3, is there a difference on the PS3? Is the PS3 smaller? They look the same, but I don't understand why I feel like this one's smaller. Maybe that's why. Because my hands are so all over the place that when I go back to this, they're locked. It doesn't feel as small because my middle fingers aren't in sight, so I'm like not controlling the whole thing. While I was with this, I'm all over the place, What did I give the PS3 controller?
What did you give the PS3?
Yeah,
You gave it a 4.
a 4.
Wow. I feel like the PS2 controller is infinitely better.
Oh yeah, I think this is definitely better. I'm gonna give this a 6.
I gave it a 7.5.
Okay. I just don't like this. These are too loud. And this is awesome. This is so loose. All right. Last one and the latest one. The Google Stadia controller.
Founders
Yeah.
Edition, baby.
This is the Founders Edition, as you can clearly see with the orange stuff here. Have you opened yours up even?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I don't
just
know if
haven't
this is going to
plugged
turn
it
on
in.
the TV when I start doing this. But,
Okay, so
wow.
this is like
crazy.
To me, it looks a lot like the Nintendo Pro controller in terms of the look and feel. Even though it's not offset, which I do prefer, the controller itself is actually a little heavier than it looks.
So this is the Google Stadia controller. This is the Switch controller.
They're very similar in look and style. I will say the triggers are much better on the Stadia controller than the Nintendo Pro controller. Sticks I also like more on the Stadia because they have the divots. They don't have the bubble.
Yeah, they
That's
don't.
how it should be made. Learn it, Sony. D-pad is actually good too. I like that it has a little divot in there. It's almost like a little boat that it's kind of going back and forth in. Buttons. How are the buttons, Ryan?
So as the one that has actually played this, I've been playing the Stadia a little bit. I'm not gonna go into a review because that's for a different video. But like it does feel good. Like I've played Destiny, I played Tomb Raider, and it feels good. The thing about this, there's no battery pack. This is all USB-C, USB Type C charger, which is what the next gen controllers will have. 3.5 jack in the bottom, and that's really all the plugins that you got on this thing. This is the most expensive controller we have in our lineup, unless Nate wants to walk out here in 5 seconds. But this is, I don't know, it's definitely a different experience for the controllers, for the controller universe. It does have,
Don't like the bumpers.
it does have lined up joysticks, which I'm not. I like the offset. I wish if it would have been offset, that might be one of the best controllers ever made. But because the thing about this controller, unlike any of the other ones, is it doesn't run on a console and it connects to the internet, and that's how you're playing the system. So that controller, though it may be one of the most expensive controllers we have in the lineup, it does something that none of the other controllers do, is it connects to the internet to relay information back and forth to what game you're playing to the device itself, and not even really connecting to the Chromecast. The Chromecast is just picturing something.
I really like the feel of the front and the back. They're two different materials or finishes, whatever.
Yeah, it's a finish. Yeah.
Really nice.
I
and
like
sleek.
the shape. I think the shape is one of the best lead designed shapes we've seen.
I feel like
I'm gonna
it
bring
might
up the
be-
Xbox One.
I think it might be, and I know it sounds weird saying this, but I think it's a tad,
This is the one.
just a touch too wide for the design that they were going for, in my opinion.
That's the one. Compared to this.
Yeah, because with the Xbox One, I don't have to really reach to grab anything, but
Yeah.
Stadia, you kind of have to a little bit.
I have to do one of these maneuvers here.
Yeah, so they might want to, if they come out with like a pro version or whatever, they might want to redesign.
Yeah, because
the
I
layout,
cannot.
or
I can't reach that top button
maybe make it a tad
without
shorter.
moving my hand up.
It's
Their home button in the middle of the controller here, though.
yeah.
Like right at the bottom where the joysticks are.
I don't think that was for.
That you don't use that button at
Yeah.
all. The other thing is you got the Google Assistant button, options button, screenshot button, and then this little sandwich button, just like how the
Yeah, so I do like that they have a screenshot button instead of like how Xbox.
PlayStation 4 has one too,
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I did not know that.
and the Switch does.
Xbox does not have that. You have to double tap the home button and press X.
I think they're the only controller of the modern consoles because that's a screenshot button, and then the Joy-Cons have a screenshot button, and then the DualShock 4 has a screenshot button because it's a share. It just says share. But yeah, I mean, I like the shape. Let me see the.
So, for me, again, it's just.
I don't
a
know, this
touch
one kinda-
too- I think it's a touch too wide.
Boom. Yeah, I think it
for
is
its
too.
layout.
But I think the reasoning and why is this body that the Xbox One controller has is like you were saying, it's more angular. Well, you said it was too big. I think it's more angular
Yeah.
with the Xbox One controller, so that I can literally just take my thumb, boom, right there. I'm in the options button. I can hit the home button. That's my reach, is the home button. With that, you got to reach for the share button. Like
Yeah, it's in terms of functionality. How's the Rumble?
It's good. I would say probably a little bit of the level of the Switch one,
Oh.
of the Pro controller. This does have HD Rumble in it technically, I think. I think these ones actually do too. But there's no rumble in the controller and the triggers because it's so sunken into the controller there doesn't need to be. The Xbox One has rumble in the controllers. I don't know if well, obviously these don't either. Or they might have motors in here. They're big enough. Yeah, I don't know. It feels nice. It definitely feels nice. I think I'm going to have to give this an 8 as well. I'm going to rate it at the same as the Xbox One.
Really?
Yeah. Cuz I think First off, these triggers are really put together. They're hooked. It doesn't matter. I think for you, it's gonna feel weird because it's heavier. It's top heavy.
I don't mind the heaviness.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying more of the top heaviness because you hold your controller like you have the two fingers, so it might lean out of your hand a little bit more as opposed to that is more concaved. But for me, like these, they're close to each other, and I don't really have a problem with moving back and forth because it literally is just I can just move like this. The D-pad is good. They are separate buttons. It's just one plastic piece, but there are separate buttons as opposed to the one piece. The sticks, they're not too loud. I will say these buttons are freaking loud. They almost remind me of the Switch Pro controller.
Yeah, that's exactly what reminds me.
Except these are silenter than
they do
these
have
ones.
a better D-pad than the Switch Pro, though.
Yeah. But I think it is a really good controller. It's definitely the most high-tech controller we have. I could go back on it. You know what? I'm going to drop mine. I'm going to go to a 7.8 just because I think it is too wide. I'm not going to rate it exactly, but I think it's pretty close to an 8. But I'm going to go 7.8.
I give it a 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Nate. Did you get my text?
Oh.
We have a wild card. Thank you, Nate.
Oh, you have one?
He has an Elite 1. This is the first Elite controller. This is number 11. Hopefully I don't turn it on for you. He does have the back buttons on. This is heavy. This is super heavy.
I've
feels
never held one.
really heavy. But that D-pad feels it's metal. It's a metal piece. Metal.
Huh.
I mean,
paddles.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I could do the paddles. I squeeze my
Sorry.
controller pretty hard. I might accidentally push buttons when I get jump scared.
I mean, there definitely seems like there's more going on in the middle of this one because of these buttons right here. But I almost feel like I hold it better with these metal pieces. These are magnets.
Mm-hmm.
They're magnetized in there. They just fit right there.
Interesting. Yeah, I like it. I don't know.
Ooh. You can barely hear that joystick. It definitely feels like a lot better than that joystick.
No, I do like the sticks. Oh,
yeah.
it like flicks back
Yeah,
into
feel
place.
that and then feel that.
You can feel it. Oh my god.
Yeah, flick my stick. Flick my stick.
Like
Yeah,
that?
there we go, like that.
Like-
Just slightly out of frame. Flick that stick. Yep. Yep.
Stop leaning into it. Just let it happen.
Let it happen naturally. Yeah, I mean that is definitely an Elite
And these
controller.
are different, 2 different modes on it for different button layouts, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
You do have setting changes on that.
Interesting. Can you put these up there? No, you don't think you can.
I'm gonna have to rate that higher than this. Because I think with the settings, it does fix everything that. Wait, what has this got down here?
What?
Oh, they did put that on there. Okay. The
I'm gonna
3.5
try
and-
placing these lower and see how they feel lower.
But the fact that you have the option to do that, though.
Yeah. I guess it all depends on the grip
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah, because obviously you can hear the
Oh, man.
plastic.
For me,
You can hear the plastic that this controller is obviously made out of. $60. How much was that? $100? $100 for this, and then the new one is $180. Yeah. Okay, so this is a $150 controller. This is a $60 controller, so almost double the price. And then the only way you can get a Stadia controller is by buying the $140 bundle that it comes in. I guess they do retail. How much is a Stadia controller? $70 $70. I think you could buy an extra controller.
I don't think I could use this. I squeeze my controller.
I think this is better than this.
Yeah, I'd take the paddles off, but what's the point? You know, of getting an elite controller if you're not going to use the paddles.
Well, I mean, the only way that I would see anyone using these is if you're driving. When do you use these?
No, dude, what? Yeah.
Oh, this is your L3, R3? Yeah, for driving, shifting. Like I was a
No,
crazy person.
You can totally use it for first-person shooters.
I'm not saying. I'm saying you can use it for driving.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because you'd shift down, shift up, and you could just beep, 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 beep. You don't even have to, like... my shift up and my shift down is usually... And my E-brake when I don't want to play fancy-pantsy. I'll do gas, brake, and LB... Or RB is my
E-brake?
E-brake.
Yeah. Or handbrake.
Yeah. I don't know. This is... I don't like the hollowness, but that's this plastic that they put on here.
I love the sticks.
The sticks are really nice. If the only thing that's holding it down, they could put some more rubber padding around here. Probably can prevent that. It does come with different... Can I take... Oh, yeah, I can take these off. But, I mean...
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm going to give this an 8.2. I do like the grip. I like the shifters. I don't want to say it's a 9. I don't think I've held a 9 controller before. Because I feel like I eventually would get used to this.
So what'd you give it?
An 8.2. These are super silent. I'm really pressing down on those. There's no sound coming from these triggers. The bumpers are definitely a little silent. 9.5. Wow. You did rate the other controller a 9.
Yes. It is better than the stock Xbox controller. If you squeeze your controller real hard, it's not worth you getting it.
You also get
paddles,
2 settings on here,
unless
too.
you want to... Well, on the 2, you get 3. I believe. I think it's 3. So... And also the D-pad's different on the second one. But, yeah, I mean, for me... I squeeze my controller too hard. I don't know if I'd have to train my brain to not squeeze the controller so hard.
Yeah. I definitely like this.
But everything else...
I say that price tag is
good.
terrible. I would go for an 8.5.
Well,
but there's no way I'd spend
I wouldn't
that much.
if you look at the market, because if you look at any other modded controllers like that, like from Scuff or
yeah, I know
whatever,
that, and they're usually in the
well,
220 range and whatnot.
Yeah, you can get them for as cheap as like $120.
Yeah,
but
no, the guy, the Scuff that was trying to sell me that PlayStation 4 Xbox thing, yeah, it was like a PlayStation 4 controller, but it looked like an Xbox controller. It was like $250. I'm like, no, I'm not buying that. There's no way. But I mean, I don't know. Like that, the Elite is definitely very nice. But yeah, I think we're good. All right, can we? Let me get that. Do you want me to?
Sure.
Organize that, and then I'll let you rattle it off while you banter a little bit. Maybe describe what.
Describe.
I don't know. Just start talking.
Just start talking.
Okay, so how did you do all this?
I just added them all up on the right. You see them.
Okay. So let's see. The lowest rated one was coming in 11th place is PS3 with 10 points.
You wouldn't think it.
You wouldn't think it. You gave it... Wait, is this my column and this is yours?
Mine's the left. Yours is the right.
Okay, so you gave it a 6. I gave it a 4. Let's see here. What else do we do? That might be the next one. Coming in at an 11 is the NES. I didn't know we rated it.
NES got better than the PlayStation
1
3.
point higher.
That's so funny.
You gave it a 5. I gave it a 6. What else came in here? I think that's the next one there. The Pro controller. So the Switch Pro controller got an 11.5.
Yeah.
A half a point higher than the NES controller.
Yep. Not great.
Let's see here. Okay, I see the... So the N64 controller got a 12. Dang, man.
It was way better for its time than the stupid Switch Pro controller.
That was at 8. That was an 8. 8th place is what that was. Let's see what else we got here. That might be it. 13. That's a 13.5, right?
Yep.
Okay. Wow, we got a lot of ties for this. So tied for, I believe that the way it goes is
Joy-Con.
7th place is Joy-Con with 13.5. Joy-Con PS4 as Nate is fondling his nuts over there.
Oh.
It's almonds. It's and PlayStation 2. So the Joy-Con, PS4, and PS2 controller all got a 13.5. Interesting.
Out of 20 guys.
So this would have been 7, 6, 5. In 4th place, if I'm doing this right, is the... No, I'm not doing this right at all. I'm just going to say tied for... Yeah, we'll get this. It only really matters to the top 3 anyway. Is the 360 controller with a 14. That's interesting that it got 4th place. I didn't think it was going to get up that high. In 3rd place, let's see here. That would be... Oh, no. So they would have been tied for 5th, not 7th. I'll run it all down again. 4, 5, 3. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to jump all around because we definitely bounced around here.
Yes, we did.
3rd place would have gone to Stadia. Interesting. I gave it a 7.8. You gave it a 7.5, which equaled out to 15.3. And then what else did we get? Xbox One got a 17, and then the Elite got a 17.7.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So the top 3 best controllers that we have come in contact with are the Elite controller, the Xbox One, and the Stadia controller, followed by the 360 PS2, followed by the 360 at 4th place. And then tied with 5th is, or 7th, however you do it, Joy-Con, PS4, and PS2. 8th place, N64, 9th place, Pro Controller for the Nintendo Switch. Number 10, the NES, and the worst controller we have in our midst is the PlayStation 3 controller. I think that's a pretty good list.
Oh, Sony, fix your shit.
I was actually shocked when I held the Stadia controller for the first time. I was like, wow, this is actually a very nice controller. They really did make a really good controller. I have a little bit of bias, I will admit, towards the Xbox One, but because that's primarily the controller I do, I just say it works with a lot of things. It's just a really good controller overall. So
yeah, I like Xbox.
I'm just trying to remove the Elite because
feel.
the Elite was a wild card and then just destroyed the whole entire bracket in itself. The Xbox One would have beat everything. So
The PlayStation 2 controller.
PlayStation 2 controller was a really good one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
They need to
bring it back. Bring back those things so I don't have to move around too much. Yeah, any final words? This is the end of the episode.
How do you hold your controller, Ryan?
That's for a different topic, but I hold it like a normal person, like this. Thumbs on top, middle fingers in the center, wrapped around like I'm grabbing something in a gun, because a normal person doesn't shoot a gun like this. Unless you're... Anyway, guys, that's the end of Bitcade. If you guys want to watch any more of the stuff that we do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you tap the bell button. And also, make sure you go follow both of us over on our social medias. I'm at Ryan Eamore on everything. He is
at Ashton_Stom
on Twitter. And go check him out live on
Mixer.com/Primal Target.
And when do you normally, so people can kind of get a feel of when you normally stream?
Evenings. Pacific Standard Time, around 5-ish to whenever I feel like.
Usually Wednesdays to Fridays, Saturdays depending.
Sometimes,
if we're not recording, then usually. So that's going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment section is open for you for any of the stuff that we talked about. What are your opinions? We want to know. We want to let you guys into the inner sanctum that is Primal Target. You are the PT Nation. That is Ashton. My name is Ryan. And we'll see you guys in the next episode of Bitcade. Good night, everybody.
Did you just say you want them in your sanctum? Dude. Bro.